Hello guys and welcome. My name's Greg. Today I am going to be taking out the Tier 5 Elephants. They are a premium unit on the Carthaginian faction. I only have Hasdrubal unlocked, so I'm going to be taking him out, but he does a pretty good job. The double pay is quite nice. Unfortunately, I don't get the flying column. That would be pretty funny to see on an elephant, but we do have the insight deflection, we do have the stomp, and we do have the roar. I will be taking the imported wild apples, though they're not exactly the best option. I just wanted a tiny bit of a speed buff. I don't have a lot of experience playing elephants. I would definitely not say I'm an elephant player. I do very poorly against elephants, but I thought this might have been a bit of fun. I did unlock these through the Chinese New Year event that happened a couple of weeks ago, and I've only played a handful of games with them, and I'm pretty bad with them. But thought I'd take him for a spin in a PvP battle now that the matchmaking has changed around. So let's queue up and see how we go. Okay, so I did go in with a party of one other player, Zion, who is playing the Slingers. So that kind of does work in some regards well, because if I can zone out enemy ranged and push them back, then he can hit them from behind. That is certainly one thing I want to try and avoid. I'm going to show you what happens when you get hit from behind with the archers. It slows you down and does a lot more damage than what it does from the front. So I'm going to try and avoid doing that as much as possible, but what I'm going to do here is just try and chase down those archers with the elephants, just indicating there for the crossbow to watch out for those dogs, which I don't think he does. So I'm just going to march here and just go straight forward. I did do a stomp there to try and get those spear units away from me so I could just march towards and send all three elephants straight up to A. What this will do is it'll force the archers to go back, because they're not going to do too much damage from the front, and at the same time I'm going to be pressing up on A and providing a bit of pressure on that capture point. If I can send one of my units to kind of chase them down and push them back towards their base whilst the other two capture the point, that would be perfect, because that way they're going to be firing only onto one of the elephants whilst the other two capture the point. And so let's see what they do here. In terms of an archer play, they don't actually make many mistakes here. They do kite out, but what they didn't manage to do was to actually get me in from behind. So they probably could have sent one of the units towards the base and then two back towards A, maybe even sent one of them into A and just ran around A to prevent me from capturing it. But what they did is they got my front and my two sides, and they just continuously fired in. Now with Hasdrubal, I have double pay, so, and I've got three elephants there, so what I'm going to do is just cycle through double pay onto that one elephant, keep his health as high as possible for as long as possible, and you can see here from the left a couple of volleys from my friendly slingers trying to get in onto those archers. And what this is basically doing is they're getting pressure applied to them without me actually doing anything. I'm just sitting in the capture point. I'm going to send one of these elephants across to try and get rid of this infantry, because right now it's preventing me from capping, but we've dealt with all of those units behind us. The dogs are gone, or they've run into the woods, and we've got the infantry coming in here to A now. And at the same time, they've only done maybe a quarter of the damage to that one elephant, and he's just standing there doing nothing. I could try and chase them down, but that would risk them getting in the sides of me and potentially isolating me a bit more from my other two elephants. So now we've captured A. We've captured B on the other side of the map, and they are capturing C. So for now, it actually looks like this game is snowballing quite quickly, because we're pushing them towards their base. They've only got two spawn locations, and we've got quite a lot of our health. I haven't really lost any elephants. One of them's starting to get a bit low, but it's going to be a while before he dies. I'm going to implement something here, which is the stomp and walk. So with the first unit I stomped, walked over the top, and the other unit followed him through. So when all of those units have been stomped, he knocks them down onto the ground. And then I'm going to walk over the top and kill them whilst they're on the ground. And that's one of the best ways of actually killing the units with elephants, is to stomp, walk over the top. With one of my units, I'm going to keep chasing those archers into the city or into the capture base. And with the other two, I'm just going to try and kill a couple of those infantry units. Our ranged units can definitely deal with them. They're only tier 3. And they're following me into the base. I'm not too sure why. That's a bit of a mistake. those infantry players should have actually gone towards our range and tried to just ignore me completely, whilst I send 2 of my elephants against Vertigo here and see if I can stomp him and walk over the top. That would be a good source of some kills for me there, because I haven't had a lot of XP so far. But what he's doing is he's actually running away, and that's not going to work too well with having slingers and the crossbows behind me who are able to fire into the back. So I'm just walking around here and roaring, trying to drop the morale as much as possible to see if I can get one of them to waver and to rout. If they waver and rout, then I can probably catch up to them and walk over them. I'm showing my rear here to one of the archer units there, but it's not going to do too much. I'll send my other unit to chase him down. I'm just saying into the chat there to get him Stampy, because these units for me are just a bit of fun. It's not really something I take very seriously. If I was to try and play, you know, properly and try my hardest, I probably wouldn't be playing elephants. But because I did unlock them, I thought it might be a bit of fun to create a video on them and show a bit of content on it. It's not something I'd probably create a lot of videos on, just because I'm not very good. One of the guys I play with is a lot better at them than I am. But they do have a place in the game, and they create a bit of variety in the units. They are very hard to deal with if you get a very good elephant player. There's some of them out there who absolutely destroy me, and for some reason when I try to do the same things, it doesn't really work for me. Maybe they've got a certain tier of elephant, which some of them do provide a second strike. So you got, I think it's the tier 7 have Gore, which is a ridiculously strong strike move on the elephants on top of it, and that would make it probably a bit more enjoyable. Maybe I'd play a bit better with them. I do have my elephants sitting in the base capture point here, or base spawn, sorry. I'm doing that to prevent them, if they fall back here, because they've only got 2 spots to actually spawn from right now. They've got the sea and they've got the base. If I sit my units in here and hit them when they fall back, they're not going to be able to easily fall back, heal, and then rush into the base to decap us, which we do have 2 units capturing the base. It's down to 1 on the enemy side to prevent the capture. So if I just sit in there, hit them around a bit, make a bit of a nuisance of myself whilst constantly cycling through double pay to heal my elephants at the same time, we're going to be preventing them from getting in. And we could wrap this up very quickly with a base capture if the enemy team don't appropriately drop back, which so far they've failed to do. They'd probably be better off just everyone to spawn at sea, which is what they appear to be doing now, and then flooding back into base and then moving towards one side of the map. But it doesn't seem like they're too coordinated at this point. Still trying to deal with that spear unit over there. As I said, I'm not very good with elephants. Someone who's a bit better probably would be able to. Kind of got a bit bored here with those spears, so I just sent him towards the tree line to try and chase down those archers. Probably shouldn't go in towards the trees. You slow down significantly. You're basically just a giant target at that point. But I just thought I'd see if I can flush out that archer and don't let him just fire at me just for the fun of it. But you can see there the speed drops down to... I haven't got the unit selected. Let's see what it drops down to if we can get it. 127 in the trees? And 150 in the city. So it is quite a big reduction in speed. I'm just keeping my elephants spread out here. One just denying the healing at the base spawn. One chasing that archer. And the other one over here just so I can prevent some units from just rushing into the base. We nearly have the capture at this point, and the battle's only been going for about 7 minutes. So it looks like this one will wrap up quite quickly if they don't drop back. I'm still denying some of that healing back there, but we do have that tier 3 sword player who has respawned there, and I'm just, taking a couple of volleys of arrows here, just marching around. Really, I can't take this too seriously. Just a bit of fun, sending my elephants against units and see if I can capture them and do a bit of damage, but this wasn't exactly the peak time for play. This was played during the start of the Chinese period, which sometimes you get very random games at this time, so you'll have teams that just don't seem to coordinate well at all, and it's everyone playing solo, or they're just you know, playing for shits and giggles, which I kind of play during that time because that's the time that I can during the day. But you know, sometimes it's fun to not take it too seriously, and I didn't take it very seriously playing elephants. I don't think I can. They are fun to play, but I probably wouldn't play them too often. Good for a bit of variety. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think, and I hope you have a good day, guys. Bye!